And we welcome you to another edition of This is Wrestling. It is Lee Versage alongside the very, very busy Zach McGibbon. Zach, you're up. It's Tuesday morning. You're up. You have had quite the schedule the last little while. Thank you for gracing us with your presence here on This is Wrestling after everything you're doing.
Well, when you put it that way, now I'm like, do I really have to come out like royalty here or something like that, gracing people with their with my presence or whatever? Yeah, it has been busy, busier than I thought it was going to be. I knew there was some stuff coming up. Obviously Golden Hawks Friday we were talking about before. It's like this could be the end of the Golden Hawks. Lee, as we record, they are still alive.
Go Newmarket. Like honestly. I texted you. I texted the group that we're in. Like, Trenton, please die. Die. And I don't mean that like harshly. I mean that like we need more of Zach on OSN, on This is Wrestling. And you're working him too hard. Like it's too much.
Well,
to the finals
made my
2 years ago, to the finals last year, on to whatever cup, the Buckland Cup that they went off to, or they won, or I don't know what cups.
Well, they won the Buckland Cup. They go on to the Centennial Cup. Yes.
Yes. To the Centennial Cup, obviously. Yes. And so
as everybody knows.
And then they get down 3-0. And I'm like, okay, finally, like a little peace and quiet for Zach McGibbon. Nope. They
win Friday. I was like, I was thinking there was a part of me is like, this team's too talented to be swept, and that's probably what they were thinking. So they won Friday. It's like, okay, well, this is going to make my weekend interesting because I also had Remix Wrestling Saturday.
Right.
Long-awaited return of Remix Wrestling. That was a really fun show. My dad was in attendance for the show.
Come on.
Yeah, he was in for his first, I believe this is his first live indie wrestling show. He's been to WWE shows in the past and whatnot. And but first live indie wrestling show. You were asked about, Lee, because my dad brought his friends and is like, hey, Zach, how's it going? Oh, this is good. How's the show? Great. And then they asked me, how's Lee doing? I was like, Lee's doing great.
That's why they came, to find out how I'm doing.
Yeah, that's right. And then they were like, where is Lee? Why isn't he here? And I'm like, well, Lee's got other things going on. And then that's what I mentioned, OSN and whatever. So.
Right. Well, I will tell you, and going through your busy weekend, so then you went from Remix Wrestling back to Belleville.
Correct.
To make sure that, they're going to lose Sunday afternoon for sure. Like, they're fine. They got their game. It's fine. And literally, Zach, I go on the app and it's 2-2. And there's like 11 minutes to go. I'm like, Trenton's scoring. And then I looked and I don't know exactly. I think of 4 or 5 minutes to go, they scored.
Yes.
And I'm like, my God. So
they scored. And then you'll appreciate this, Lee. There was a missed knee-on-knee call on the Golden Hawks that wasn't called. And Trenton should have been penalized on it, but they didn't get called on it.
Well, Instead, it must have been a massive knee-on-knee for you to say, the homer that you are, to say that it must have been penalized. It should have been called. It should have been called. And this was with 2.5 minutes left to go. But Lee, it was a 4-minute double minor against the Newmarket Hurricanes for the retaliation because the guy decided he's going to take his gloves off and just start pounding the guy after the knee on knee. Right.
And so that killed off any chance of a comeback for Newmarket. And so the series is still alive, Lee. Game 6 is tonight as we record. They are on the road. And if Newmarket wins, obviously, then it's done. We don't have to worry about any other Golden Hawks games. But if Trenton wins Wednesday nights, I go back to the Dunk for a Game 7. So that'll be interesting. But that does not end my busyness over the last couple of days.
No, you hosted an event last night?
Yes, I hosted the Quinny Red Devils Awards Banquet last night at the Royal Canadian Air Force Museum. So I was emceeing the nights. I was making sure that awards were being given out. And I got to, there are a couple of players on the U18 team that have been drafted to the OHL as well. So that was cool to kind of chat with them. Mm-hmm. But so I had a banquet and then I was just tired. I literally just got home and crashed in my bed and fell asleep. And I was thinking, oh, like I'll just get up. It'll be nice. And look who's ringing on my phone this morning. It's Lee Versage. It's like, come on. Like I could hear him like hitting his wrist. Like, come on, time's a ticket here. People need a This Is Wrestling episode. What's going on? I'm like still groggy, trying to like, get my bearings
Hold
back.
on. So what you're not doing right now is painting the picture exactly like it should, because you even said, to your credit,
yes,
you're like, well, maybe I can do the show after the banquet on Monday. Yep. And I'm thinking in my mind, like, this guy's not complaining, but he has had he worked all week last week and then had a game Friday night and then drove to Ottawa and called wrestling Saturday and then drove back to Belleville and then had a game Sunday and then hosted an event after work yesterday. I'm like, he's going to be pretty tired. Like,
I was a little tired.
Let's try and make this, although there's some of me that wants that Zach McGibbon on a show, but I'm like, no, Monday Night Raw is from Madison Square Garden. We're probably going to find out some things. We actually found out a lot of things, good or bad. We found out a lot of things.
Yeah.
But let's do it Tuesday morning. But I did misinterpret. I was actually trying to think of you I think he's got to work at noon. So, I've been up for a couple hours. I'm doing things. I've actually had 2 meetings already. And then I'm like, okay, time's ticking. It's like 10 to 10. He's not going to have time. Oh, I don't work till 2, Lee. Ugh.
Yeah.
Tough one.
I could hear the on the other end.
Yeah, there was. It was like I was trying to think of you like, let's get it in before he's got to get to work. Yeah. Well, you know what? Time to get up.
Yeah.
And then
let's get moving. It's like, I'm refreshed now, though.
Yeah,
like, I'm ready to go.
And you haven't even heard about my weekend.
No.
Okay. You haven't even heard about, you think I'm sitting here just doing, he's doing OSN. No. I'm going to tell a couple of these stories. Number one, out on Friday night in your neck of the woods when you're in Ottawa, in the Farhaven, at St. Joe's High School, which is right on Greenbank.
Yep.
Close to big school. Oh.
Yep. We kicked their ass in rugby, though. I will say that.
Okay, good.
Rugby.
What school is that? I don't care what your school is, Zach. No.
LDHSS, Longfields Davidson Heights Secondary Schools.
Okay. But we were over there because there was a trivia night raising money for their football and sports programs.
Yep.
Zach, there were 600 people.
Whoa.
At this trivia event. Like, I walked in and I was like, yeah, this is next level. There was like 65 tables of like 8 to 10 people per table. I'm like, this is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
I was representing St. Luke's.
Okay.
Our good buddy Angelo Barhaven.
Yes.
Invited me, said, we need you a part of the team. We don't want to finish last again. I'm like, you know what? I'm your guy. You know what? I might not know anything, but man, I'll keep things loose.
Right.
I'll keep things interesting.
Essentially, Angelo reached out for the hot tag and you made the tag. In this case, you're Ricky Morton in this case.
Yes. Like I might, I'm a little bit of the Flash and not not the steak, but that's okay. So all of a sudden we're going and there's some tough questions and they get into Russian literature. Zach.
Ooh.
Yeah. And at this point I'm looking at the group and I'm saying, guys, like we're at the very back. And I bought, some 50-50 or raffle tickets that you put in the bins for the prizes. And I'm like, you know what? This feels like a good time to just go up there because I am not contributing whatsoever. I roll up to the front and all of a sudden I look around and I look on the screen and I'm like, what? There is a question about 80s wrestling.
Oh, yes.
Right after and I'm at the front and I kid you not, debating because you buy like an arm's length of tickets and you put them in all the different bins. And there was a prize pack for the Philadelphia Eagles. And I did put one of my tickets into this prize pack for the Philadelphia Eagles because if I won it, I would burn it to the ground. Like a hat, a football, I would burn it in my fire pit, and man, would I enjoy it. So I did put one of my tickets in there. But then there's an 80s wrestling question. And I texted you. It was hard.
Yeah.
It was a saying. I don't know if do you have it there?
I can pull it up, but yeah, I remember you texted me that, and I had to like think about it a little bit because it's like it was like wrestling. I'm like, oh well, it's got to be, you know, what you gonna do, brother, or ooh, yeah, like one of those 80s.
And it was not that easy.
No,
for people when you pull it out because it was a quote said by, and the clue was an 80s WWF wrestler. So in there, like you can probably get it. But when I read the quote for the first time, I was like, what? I'm not sure exactly, but then I'm like, oh yeah, this feels like this. But it was shocking to go from Russian literature to
well, I know you've been keeping up on your Russian literature there, Lee.
I was
like,
actually,
I want to see what the Red White War was, and Leon Trotsky and all that.
I just happened to be in the Bulgarian side of things lately in literature, so I
there you go.
Not been in my Russian.
It's kind of out of purview. I understand.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you have it there?
I thought I had it in one chain. I'm trying to find the other. Here we go. I got it.
So this is a quote from a WWF wrestler in the 80s. That's the only clue that you got.
That's right. The quote is, "The family that I live for only breathes the air that smells of combat."
I'm like, well, what? Like, as you said, like you think, oh, this is just Hogan, right? Like when you read a quote from an 80s wrestler, you're just, well, they're going to make it really easy. It's going to be Hogan. It's going to be Savage. I'm like, those two would never have said that.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh, I don't know because I don't recognize the quote, but I know who would say something that stupid. I don't know if we should leave that as a teaser for
should we let people guess and see what? I like that too.
The problem is that everyone looks it up right away, right? Like
that's true.
If you're listening right now, try and guess without looking it up on who said that. But anyway, I rush back. Like, I mean, the whole gym, right? Like, there I am, Forrest Gump. Like, guys, no, I only was going to know one all night. Like, wait for me. I got back. But then they did a sports category and everyone turns to me, right? Like, okay, this is why we brought you. Because honestly, it's a bunch of really, really intelligent teachers, mostly women, and they're just so smart on everything that happens.
Yeah.
But like, this is the sports category.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Zach, they were hard. Like, very, very hard. The first question was, this quote came out of a mistake in the 90s by a guy named Pete Weber. That was the first one. And it's 8 words long and you have to get every word.
Oh, geez. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was waiting for more. I was like, all right.
No. That's it. It is famous. I got this one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, who do you think you are? I am.
Yes, that's the bowling.
The bowling.
Yes.
But you had to get it exact.
Wow.
So that was hard. They had, I feel really bad. The one I got wrong. Oh, I felt so bad. They, when a pitcher gets out of an inning, strikes out the side in 9 pitches, it's called what?
strike out the side, doesn't? Isn't that
No, there's a term for it.
Oh, there is a term for it.
Yeah.
Okay. I should know this, but
this is what I love. I'm hitting Zach cold with all of this stuff.
Yeah. It's like, oh, here's my try to tap into the baseball knowledge.
But you don't have that long before they move on to the next ones, right? So
right.
Anyway, called it a perfect inning.
Oh, a perfect inning. Oh, okay.
Well, that's what I called it.
Okay.
It was wrong.
Okay. I thought you were saying that was the answer. I was like, well,
no, that's the answer is it's an immaculate inning.
Oh.
That's the answer. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's the one. That's the one we got wrong. But man, there were some tough ones. There was like the Super Bowl MVP in Super Bowl 20.
Oh, they don't even give you the year.
Nope.
Oh. If they gave the year, I might be able to narrow that down.
Well, I got the year. The year is 85.
Okay. 1985. That would have been the 49ers in 85 that won. No.
No. Like 85 into 86, which very legendary team.
Oh, the 85 Bears.
That's right.
Okay, yeah.
So who won the Super Bowl? Who won the Super Bowl MVP? Defensive player.
It wasn't Mike Singletary that won that, was it?
Mm-mm.
No, it was
no. Richard Dent.
Richard Dent.
Yeah. But these are the types of questions. Like for the sports people, they're hard.
Yeah.
So imagine what I was like in Russian literature. Anyway, we got 5 of 6, but the whole point is that they come out with the rankings and people are looking them up online. And like this group just wants to stay out of dead last.
Yeah.
Like don't be in the bottom 10. Right. And we look at the first time and we're 9th. And the group is celebrating like we've won. Okay. And like literally celebrating.
Yes.
And I look over and I don't know any of these people other than Angela. Right. And I'm like, so there's 8 more places to go. Lock in, group. Lock in. The next time, we're 5th.
Whoa, all right.
The next one. The next time, we're 4th.
Whoa.
So now I've got the attention, and especially a couple of the younger people who were beside me that told me that they were there just for the music bingo part because they didn't know anything either. They're the ones yelling at me. Lock in, league. Come on. Like my attention was there. Lock in. Like if they had a chance to win, now they're focused.
So what you're saying is you set the standard for this group. You're like, there's a standard that has to be met.
So now going into the last round, we're 2nd.
Oh boy.
I said, tell me the table. Tell me the table. That's number 1 right now.
Yeah.
It's table 43. We're going over.
Oh, man.
Zach. I went over there with a couple other people, but they did not participate. I don't know table 40. I don't know anybody in this place. Right? I walked over. I'm like, hey, I hear you guys are doing pretty good. You guys are winning. I'm like, that's awesome. That's awesome. Just so you know, if you don't go perfect in this round, you're losing. To us, because we're awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just taking a lot. And then you said, the family that I live for only breathes the air that smells of combat.
Zach? Trivia champions!
Let's go!
Yes! 600 people, St. Luke's raised the trophy. Oh my God, what a feeling. Especially after they announce, like, and the winners, St. Luke's. Good night, everyone. And then like that's it. No prize. They didn't even bring us the trophy. What? We had to go up. We had to go up after people are leaving and ask if we could get the trophy just to take a picture.
What?
With the trophy, like nothing.
That's a bunch of crap.
It's a bunch of crap. I stayed all night for this. Come on. I thought something. Anyway.
You thought you're getting confetti or whatever?
I thought that there was going to be a little bit more like, and the winner is St. Luke's. Good night.
Everybody gets up on the table like, yeah, let's go. Oh, well, okay, it's over.
Oh my God, it was disappointing.
It's the Roman Reigns quote. Yeah, exactly. No pop. Like, it's like, what?
And I didn't win the Philadelphia Eagles prize pack to burn it.
Oh, well. Well, that would have been great content to film for the OSN YouTube channel.
No, it would have.
And they get all the angry Eagles fans in the comments and just be like, why would you do this? I love Randall Cunningham. Like, how could you do this to us?
Nick Sirianni's the man, except for this year.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, when we imploded halfway through the year? Yeah. Huh?
If Reggie White didn't go to the Eagles, he would have or didn't go to the Packers, he would have won a Super Bowl with us. You know, okay, sure.
And keep hearing about the Philly special and how Doug Peterson's somehow a great coach. Like, yeah, I've heard it.
Illegal play. I always stand by that, but yes.
The trivia champions on Friday night. And then I was actually thinking about, Zach said there's Remix Wrestling, and I haven't been to Remix Wrestling. I'm like, maybe, you know, I'm pretty much a loser, and Saturday nights are like usually free for me, but not this time. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I went to see The Watchmen on Saturday night. Right.
Yes, how was that?
Oh, The Watchmen are one of, if not like my favorite band ever.
There you go.
And so they were incredible. So I'm at the Bronson Center in Ottawa. For anybody who's ever been to the Bronson Center, if there's a band that you like and they are playing there, it's an incredible venue. It's just big enough to feel like, hey, this is a cool spot. You're not at a cafe or something, but to see a band intimately like that is, and if you like that band, my God, it was sold out. It was awesome. It was just incredible. So yeah, and so that was Saturday night. So I was actually, plus, of course, you know, I was on OSN Saturday afternoon with the Tampa Bay Lightning.
That's right.
And the Ottawa Senators and James Reimer playing, and Linus Ullmark not playing. So that was
there.
That was interesting.
Yep.
And they lost. So some of us had to hold down the fort for OSN. So that was my weekend, Zach.
There you go. And you're going to be back on This Is OSN later tonight.
That's right.
We'll talk about the game tonight. It's Florida, right? That they're taking on. So
in Florida, then home to Buffalo. There was 7 games in 11 days. And I was like, am I back at work? Like, am I working again?
Yeah.
7 times in 11 days, and pre-games and post-games. But check out This Is OSN, Ottawa Sports Now. We are doing a lot of different things when it comes to the Senators and some daily shows, lots to come on OSN. But This Is Wrestling, Zach, 23 minutes into the show.
Yes. You got all the banter you could have wanted in the first.
Well, we did. Hey, look, you want to know what we're doing on the weekend? Yeah. That's what we're doing on the weekend.
There was some wrestling stuff over the weekend.
Hey,
so, you know.
We mixed in remix and a quote.
Yes, from a wrestling
from the 80s.
Yes,
so
that's right.
You know what?
It's practically our wrestling talk. I mean, what do you want me to say about what happened on Raw yesterday? Like, what do you truly want me to say?
Well, let's get into what happened on Monday Night Raw, because I feel like that is, I'll give them some credit that I think they decided, oh crap, WrestleMania is in 3 weeks. We actually have to do some things, to get ready for it. So they just kind of did all the things. But this show was just such a typical WWE show. We're just gonna jam everything in. Some of it's not going to make sense. We're gonna have more title changes for no reason. We're just gonna do it all. And that's what they did at Madison Square Garden last night. Where would you like to start with it? Because I think that the biggest thing for me, trying to be somewhat serious, is that I've complained, you've complained, like, what are they doing with Gunther? What are they doing with Gunther? And look, I don't love what the end result is, but I actually appreciate the fact that they're putting Gunther in a match with somebody else that's relevant. And I honestly, I had a massive fear that they were either going to not have him on the show at all or have him on in some stupid parody thing going into WrestleMania that wouldn't do anything for him. And I give them some credit. Is there a storyline? No. Does it make sense? No. But Gunther is going to wrestle Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. And this to me, Zach, is one of those things that no storyline. They've had injuries. They've had to do they waited and waited. I think for is Rey Mysterio going to be healthy? Is Braun Breaker going to be healthy? They've had to deal with some things. I don't love how they got there, but this match, at least to me, feels relevant when it comes to two of their bigger stars. I'm starting with the positives here.
Okay. Just going to say, I think you're being a little too nice to them, but I see what you're laying out. I see what you're laying out there, because I do agree with you. It's tough when you have some plans and you have some injuries that you have to, account for. I think the big one for them was Braun Breaker not being ready. That to me was the one that they were clearly setting up for a program between Seth and Braun at WrestleMania, with all the stuff with the Vision. So clearly that wasn't the case. So unfortunate for Braun too, he's not going to get his spot at WrestleMania because of the injury. So that's going to suck too. And so they had to pivot and they had to find something to do. Having said all of that, Lee, they've known Braun Breaker's been injured, and there was the possibility that he would not be at WrestleMania for months. They had known this was a possibility for a long time, and they just bet the farm on Braun being able to come back. And they had known that Rey Mysterio was injured, and they had bet the farm that he was going to be able to come back in time for WrestleMania, because in their minds, it's WrestleMania. They're going to find a way to, power through and blah, blah, blah. And they've created no fallback plan where you could at least try and find a branching arch. And all these fans that love to talk about how WWE is the storytelling company, AEW, they just do moves in AEW, as you know. All they just do is just go out there and have these matches with no stories or whatnot. But this is where all the stories get told in this promotion. That's why we're number one if you're a WWE fan. I will not hear it when they eventually have to do this storyline explanation for Seth and Gunther, and why Gunther is getting involved at this point when he hasn't been on TV for 3 weeks. And all of a sudden he's getting involved in the Vision stuff with Seth Rollins. And then they'll do the explanation, and it's going to be happening. You're going to get the people that's going to come out there and be like, oh, see, they had a plan. You just had to be patient because they're doing this because they're desperate and they have to come up with something. And on paper, Seth and Gunther, while I think people overrate Seth Rollins heavily. I think he's a good wrestler, sometimes very good wrestler. But there are so many people that think he's this elite top 10 level worker. I don't think he's that at all.
So I agree with you in that aspect. Yeah. But before you continue,
yes,
I don't look. There's nothing about what you said that I disagree with. When you don't have plan B going into WrestleMania for anything that you're doing, and it like plan B and plan C have to also make sense. Storylines ever, and that is your job as a storytelling moments company to have plan B and plan C ready to go and make it make sense. And they clearly did not. So that is on them. I would tell you, whether Seth Rollins is in that category for you or me, I don't know somebody more relevant on the roster that Gunther could have gone against once they booked themselves into this hole.
Yep. I agree with that. I'm not opposed to on paper, I get it. And look, when we review the match, we'll likely like it until the inevitable 17 run-ins come in from the Vision during the match. But, we'll probably like the match, but it's how many writers are in that room? How many agents are in there? How many you only have one idea and you don't have any other sort of like this is why you hire these people. Am I wrong here? Like you have all this. They love, and AEW too. They love to tout, oh, we have all this experience, all this wrestling knowledge in the room, and we have these writers that we brought in from Hollywood and all this stuff. It's like, oh, we have so much talent back there. Why does it never show in the output? It never shows. SmackDown had the same 3 angles in the same show. How many people are back there?
So
it's supposed to be a creative company. Where's the creativeness?
On SmackDown on Friday night, 3 separate times, and I sent this to Zach because I knew that he would love it so much.
Oh my God.
Because Zach talks about the what's the name of the people that the
road agents not talking to each other.
The road agents not talking to each other. And 3 times on SmackDown on Friday night on the same show, there was outside interference with a shot of either like a title or a punch or something that the referee didn't see that led to a roll-up victory.
It's insane.
3 times. Like, I hate that angle once.
Yes. He did it 3 times.
I know. It's actually crazy that they did that 3 times.
1,000 agents and writers back there. Not one of them could talk to each other and just say, look, in my match, we have to do this. Like, if you want to save it for the Sami Zayn US title win, which also doesn't make sense. But if you're going to do that, like, at least save it for that, right? But it was in every match. And so I'm looking at Raw. It's like, dude, all these people, it's like, you would have to think you knew that Braun Breaker might not be available for WrestleMania. You had to have something in the chamber. Something. You're a multi-billion-dollar company with all these people back there. And no excuses.
No, when Braun Breaker had his appendix, and that was, what, right after the Royal Rumble?
Yes.
That's the beginning of February. So they've had all of February and all of March to come up with something. And they just bet on him coming back instead of coming up with something. That's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. Yeah.
It's such a, like, they are so, like, that Rumble, like, it was a very uneventful Royal Rumble, but it was so indicative of the thought process of that company because it was just so safe and lazy. That's the WWE mindset right now. And they're safe and lazy during the WrestleMania build. Like, and as you mentioned, they're at MSG, so it's like, historically, like, I know that they're in Stamford, Connecticut, but historically, the WWE, WWF, WWF have their ties to Madison Square Garden, so they're always going to try and put in some sort of a big show because that is the Mecca and all this stuff.
And
right?
To that point, Cody Rhodes came out at the beginning of the night and basically said that. He said the WWE Undisputed Champion's always going to be here because it's Madison Square Garden, and we're not going to have a show without you seeing the champion, and that's because this is the home of the WWE at the biggest arena in the world and the most famous arena in the world and all that stuff. He basically said all of what you're saying in the first 3 minutes of the program.
Yes.
So for them to not be prepared for this, it's inexcusable for WrestleMania. Now, I do liken it a little bit to, I think AEW has been a lot better as of late, but there certainly have been times in the AEW tenure here where they've told you just ignore all of the storylines that we are giving you and putting 2 talented guys in the ring, knowing that it's going to be good. Ignore everything we've shown you so far, but just trust us that this will be a good match. It's kind of what they're doing here, right? Like, whether Seth can really, really go, we'll see. But I had no idea what they were going to do with Gunther. Like, and my fear was that they were going to do this. The thing I thought the most was that they're going to involve, because Rey Mysterio's out, they're going to have Gunther go on like AAA TV, and they're going to have like some sort of like 6-on-1 against Gunther, whether it's a ladder match or whether it's like something to involve all of the AAA stars, and that somebody would kind of get over. And like, I didn't know what they were going to do with this guy. I really, really didn't. And to me, I don't, with the hole that they're in, like, I think we're talking about, it's inexcusable that they put themselves in this hole. But now that they're here, I think it was the best decision to put him against Seth Rollins, because it's like, I don't even have another name to give you.
Yep.
To tell you that there would be somebody in the league of Gunther with the way that they've booked him. I actually thought if Braun Breaker was healthy, that they might pivot and go Braun and Gunther, because that would be interesting. Even if there was no story, that would be interesting. And the whole Obafemi Brock Lesnar, which we'll get to here, because your boy made an appearance last night.
He and his wife made an appearance. Yes.
Oh yeah, it was all about that last night.
Yeah,
but there isn't really a story with Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. It's just, hey, this is a really big guy that's kind of taken the world by storm, and Brock's a really dangerous big guy, and we're going to just put them in the ring together. Like, there's no story.
Yeah. But that's my most anticipated match of this, because it's like, I'm in. You don't have to overcomplicate this thing. So, but back to the point there, when it came to, Gunther and Seth, I agree with you. The crazy thing to all this, in my ranting and raving as per usual, is that this is the best decision that they could have possibly made. But that's an indictment of them, that was the best decision that they could have possibly made. Because while you were thinking about what they could do with Gunther, it was announced yesterday that John Cena was going to host WrestleMania. I'm like, well, there's your Gunther thing. Like, Gunther's going to confront John Cena. It's like, didn't I retire you and beat him up or something like that? And that was going to be the extent of the involvement with Gunther. That's where I thought it was going to go.
Okay.
Like, so at least we're going to get a Gunther match at WrestleMania. And again, I think they'll have a good match. I just want to make that clear. I'm not saying Seth Rollins is a bad wrestler. In fact, he's a good wrestler, and at times can be very good. There are things that annoy me with Seth where I think his senses are off on stuff. I go back all the way a couple of years ago, and I talked about it at the time. I think it was SummerSlam. Remember the Seth Rollins, Matt Riddle feud? And it was this heated feud. They did the cameras side by side, and they're looking at each other. It's like, and Seth's like, that's why your wife left you, isn't it? Right? And like, they were trying to make this a personal blood feud. So what does Seth Rollins do? He comes out in his elaborate entrance and his robe, and he's doing the dancing and whatnot. I'm like, you're trying to kill this man. Like, what are you trying to, why are you going out with this? I'm Seth. Look at my robe. Like, what are you doing? Like, his senses are just so off. And that's my big issue with Seth. But he is a good wrestler, and I think he will go out there and Gunther will have a good match. I have no doubt about that. But storyline wise, I put it on them because they love to tout. Like, we watch the Unreals, obviously, and like, they love to talk about how great they are. When
I'd like to call it the Emmy nominated.
That's right.
Unreal series.
The Emmy nominated WWE Unreal. They love to talk about all these great stories that they're making and how they're able to just, like, no matter what happens, it's always ever flowing. You were always thinking multiple steps ahead. Clearly not. When it comes to this Gunther and Seth Rollins thing, had to go back a couple of steps to try and like figure this one out. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what's happening in WWE right now and all the programming for WrestleMania.
Okay, so let's talk about Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Obafemi's got, basically twice has gone kind of over on Brock Lesnar. They had a pull apart where your boy, Humble,
Humble Hearst Helmsley.
I love the way they put it. Like, first of all, there's so many things. Like, first of all, why is he out there? I'm not sure. Like, he's trying to pull apart and saying that they can't fight each other. Meanwhile, your main event, like literally the main event of night 2, Roman and CM Punk are killing each other.
Correct.
In the last 2 weeks, killing each other. But we can have Brock Lesnar and Obafemi touch.
Yes. Well, also they did a pull apart brawl on SmackDown too.
Yeah, I know. But
let's do it again
because Triple H just popped out of nowhere. Like it was like, where'd he come from? But as you said, because of the intrigue, this probably is one of the more anticipated matches, right?
Yeah, because they didn't overcomplicate this thing, Lee. All they had, I will continue to preach this on this show. I will let fans know, and they might get tired of hearing it, but it's going to be said every time because they didn't overcomplicate it. They didn't have run-ins. They didn't have, all it is just two guys that don't like each other, that want to prove they are the best against each other. One wants to prove that they are the most physical. They're the next thing in pro wrestling, and Obafemi, while Brock Lesnar wants to maintain his spot as the big dude. And it's two big dudes that are going to go at it, and they're going to have a match. And every WWE fan I've heard anyway has been like, oh, that Obafemi and Brock Lesnar match, that could really go either way. Like, I don't know. Like, and they didn't overcomplicate this thing. It's just two guys that want to fight each other. And then, so of course, Triple H has to insert himself on the one good build that he has put together and be like, yeah, no, this is my idea. Remember, like, cause I'm the booker, right? I'm the booker, and we're all part of this, all part of the show. I'm the booker. And so he's got to like remind people about this. So he runs in, and I guess he has this power to like just push Obafemi and Brock Lesnar aside. I guess because they want to, show like how much people respect Paul Levesque in this company, right? Like, right. Look, like we want to fight each other, but like not in front of the boss. Like we can't do that in front of Paul Levesque, right? Because he's so great. And so he's pushing he's like, hey, no. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, number one's like, of course, Paul Levesque is going to get involved somehow, some way into this storyline. And number two is like, why is he here? Like you said, why couldn't this have been Adam Pearce? Honestly.
Yeah. It's like, Adam Pearce every other time.
Yep. If the whole thing is Adam Pearce is not good at his job, right? Because he's got all these fights going on. I know he's not the general manager of SmackDown, but there's a pull apart brawl on SmackDown, now a pull apart brawl on Raw. Like his roster is just out of control. Like, if that's the storyline, I guess. And you know me, I love my authority storylines. So I get locked in on that. But if that's the storyline, great. But it was just, he just showed up and then pulled him aside. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, why not just have them continue to fight each other? So
I would have reversed this build and the main event build. So I could argue, and I will, that I think some of the Roman Reigns CM Punk stuff was really, really good with the words that they were using earlier. And there's a longer build to WrestleMania after the Royal Rumble, but they started that really early. When Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble, it was like, okay, like I'm choosing CM Punk, and they had really good words battling over the first couple of weeks. I would have left it. I would not have had them interact, because at that point I was like, oh, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm ready. And now that, like you mentioned this with Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, and me too, I kind of feel like, okay, like we haven't really seen a ton of physicality with those two guys that obviously can be. So I'm anticipating it probably the most of any match right now. And the main event to me has gone downhill a little bit, because it's almost now they're taking turns power bombing each other through the tables and sitting there mocking each other after they do it. And now it's like, okay, I've seen them in like 6 pull apart brawls. I've seen them power bomb each other. I've seen them have each other laying. Like, you knew when CM Punk was laying last week and Roman Reigns had dominated him, that they're just going to do the opposite next week. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
So I would like a little bit more of a build up now for the main event, because I was there and now I'm not there anymore.
Yeah.
Where I feel like I am with Obafemi and Brock Lesnar because of exactly what you just said. Let's talk about the beginning. So Cody Rhodes comes out and like immediately interrupted by Stephanie McMahon. No, I don't know, Zach, that the voices in Randy Orton's head, but who did I say last week on the program that Randy Orton could be talking to?
I believe you said Shane McMahon. I know it was a McMahon.
It was a McMahon, and it was Shane McMahon. Nothing that happened last night has deterred me from that. Stephanie McMahon coming out saying you don't understand. Randy's talking to people and he's diabolical and the voices in his head and everything else. And she's literally cutting a heel promo. And then slaps Cody Rhodes and then says she's doing it because she cares about it, but she's being a heel the entire time. And then Cody gets really mad and like says, thank you. I do feel like it's possible that it's Shane McMahon. I guess the question is, do you think it's like upgraded that it could be Vince McMahon?
In this build, no, but they are laying the groundwork eventually in a different way for Vince McMahon's return.
Oh, Cody Rhodes said last night, like again, I'm not my father, but turned around and said to Stephanie, like, and you're not yours either. Or
yep.
Clearly referring to Vince McMahon.
Correct. And there was also, I don't know if you heard, there was some light "We Want Vince" chants that were breaking in at MSG. So great. So yeah, I mean, they're setting the stage for it. I don't think it's going to be this feud, but like it's going to happen. Like it's going to happen. He's going to be on TV at some point and they'll acknowledge him.
So why is Stephanie McMahon interjecting herself into Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton?
I think they're going back to that 2009 storyline. Remember that where it was, who was it that was handcuffed? I think it was Shane actually that was handcuffed and to the corner, and Randy Orton RKO'd Stephanie in 2009. It's all the memes that you see on Twitter where like 2009 Randy Orton was peak Randy Orton, right? What's your favorite 2009 Randy Orton match, Lee?
None, Zach.
None? Oh. You didn't like the 6th John Cena match that they did that year?
No, I didn't. 0 would be my answer, but
gotcha. Okay. I'm just telling you what the fans are saying. So I just apparently 2009 was his peak because he RKO'd Stephanie McMahon and he was a little bit more vicious than usual. So I think that's the reference.
Can we actually go back to Cody and Randy having a pull apart brawl and Cody RKOing Jelly Roll? Like somehow Jelly Roll is part of the main event feud?
Correct.
Why?
It's Big Starly. Gotta have the stars involved.
Okay.
Well, on all this too, Randy Orton's getting cheers. So it's not exactly working. Like people are still cheering for Randy Orton. Like, yeah, this is a moment I'm watching. Yeah, I love moments here in this company. Woo! It's like, no, you're supposed to boo the man. He's a vicious heel. He's beating people up. He's beating up the celebrity. He's beating up Cody. You know, but they're like, but it's how they've trained this audience. Like the audience isn't going boo yay anymore in WWE.
No,
they're just reacting. Like if they like you for how you're acting, they'll cheer you. If they don't like how you're acting, like they're starting to boo Cody, which is like went a little later than I thought for Cody. So good for him, but it was eventually going to happen where, you know, people were going to get tired of the Cody act and people are going to start to boo him.
So who do you think that Randy Orton's talking to?
I do think he's talking with Shane. I think Shane's going to make an appearance.
Oh, I've converted you, have I?
No, you have converted me. I was holding out because I'm like, I don't want it. It was more of a don't want it personally.
Right.
So, and you know me, Lee, my personal feelings get in the way a lot of times with my picks. Like that's why I have bad picks, because it's like, no, they couldn't do this. Like, this is such a dumb, stupid thing.
Right. It feels good that you think with your heart sometimes. And, there I am looking like the intelligent one using my head.
Look, I try not to think like WWE because I actually feel brain cells killed off every time I think like WWE. No, I think it's going to be Shane. I was serious too with the 2009 stuff with Randy Orton and the feud with Stephanie, because I do think people hold that to reverence and that whole feud. And you remember Shane doing the punches, right? Like he had those great boxing like punches, like he's just it's Floyd Mayweather right there, just throwing those punches. Manny Pacquiao.
So is there anybody else that you think he could be talking to? Like, once Stephanie came out yesterday and tried to warn Cody and saying, I'm doing this for you. Mm-hmm. And Cody leaves with a thank you, but she definitely cut a heel promo.
Yeah.
And there's more than one royal family. Like, I almost upgraded to Vince. Like, would you put it past Vince McMahon to come out and be somehow a part of the Saturday night main event at WrestleMania, knowing that there's not going to be I won't say a ton of coverage, but it's really hard when WrestleMania ends at midnight on Saturday, and then once they go back at it again on Sunday, that some of the Saturday night stuff gets lost in the news cycle. And if you put Vince out on Saturday night, yes, people will still be talking about it on Monday, but it will be this, oh my God, last night Vince McMahon came back, but now we're going to show you CM Punk and Roman Reigns, and we're going to, have all these other things going on that, I don't know. I might have upgraded to Vince last night when Stephanie came down, but I thought it might be the McMahon family that they were talking to. There's more than one royal family. And to me, it feels like it's at least going to be Shane. I don't know who else it could be.
Yeah. I'm not willing to go Vince just yet. Again, this might be the personal feelings of I don't want to see Vince at all on my screen, just in general now. But I can't put it past this company. I really can't. I think everything that goes on with that lawsuit with Janelle Grant, like if they did it now, it's a bigger story because it's happening right in the middle of the lawsuit with Janelle Grant and all that. If they did it after the lawsuit is resolved, however it may be, that's where I see it more happening. But I do see it happening where he appears on TV somehow, some way.
So then all of a sudden there was a New York street fight, Zach. Not a street fight, but a New York City street fight.
Right.
Hard to keep track, but once again, we got new tag team champions. My man, Logan Paul, comes out and helps with the Vision. Austin Theory, they beat the Usos, who, by the way, debuted a new theme to only lose their tag team championships on the night that they debuted a new theme. But
brilliant.
I show Speed gets involved and LA Knight's out there, and certainly. Hey, look, if I get LA Knight and I show Speed in a 4-minute classic at WrestleMania,
oh boy,
let me know. I look forward to it.
I can't wait the whole to be exchanged on that one. Oh my goodness.
I will go to the bathroom. I will get a drink, and by the time I get back, it'll be over. It'll be fantastic. But we got new tag team champions. What are they doing with the Vision? So the Vision win the titles last night. I don't know if you've seen this morning, but somebody put out we should come back and sort of reclaim the tag team belts for the WWE. We should be the team to get it back from the bad Vision. and bring the titles back to where they should be. Almost like a poor Hangman Page bringing the AEW title back from the John Moxley in the briefcase and never seeing it.
Okay.
Who do you think put that out this morning?
I have no idea.
Okay, so think about a revered team.
Okay.
That if you go back to, because they love their nostalgia, if you go back to still active, but certainly in the nostalgia history part of the WWE over the last 20 years, a big part, and they're going to come and rescue these titles now back.
Oh boy. I'm thinking, I was going to say Bully Ray, but I don't think Devon could wrestle.
So you're on the right track.
Okay.
But they're not really active. They're like once in a while. This team is active.
The New Age Outlaws.
Stop it, Zach. Stop.
Sorry.
You're making it worse here for me. That would
not
be Matt,
Hardy's, is it?
Matt and Jeff Hardy.
Oh my God. No.
So Matt Hardy has put
Enough
out
with the Hardys. Please stop. Can we move on? 2001 was 25 years ago. I was 4. I was 4 in 2001. Let's move on. Enough. He didn't really. Who said that? Was it which one of the? I'm sure it was Matt that said that, because Matt likes it. Of course. So.
Of course it was.
I'm so done with the Hardys. Enough. I'm so done. Please. Enough. And they could totally do it too because of the TNA partnership.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So
what value, honestly, does the Hardy Boys bring in 2026?
Okay, this is gonna be we're on the same page, but I'm gonna give you, because I actually hate the Hardys more than you do. I have no use for them right now. And when they come on, sometimes people, like, to me, feel like nostalgia, or they used to be. So like in TNA, when Nick Nemeth comes on, I still like watching Nick Nemeth.
Yeah.
Like he's not the same Dolph Ziggler that he used to be, but I still really like watching him. Right. So I still can get into some of the nostalgia. With the Hardys, I've just been over it for a very long time.
Lee, they were doing nostalgia matches in 2016.
Right.
2016, they were doing the whole thing with the Bucks.
But my answer to you of what value would they bring? Can you tell me the value of the tag team championships that they're around the waist of Logan Paul and Austin Theory? Or that they've been with the Usos, who beat, who did the Usos beat?
I'm gonna have to search it up now too.
Yeah, I'm searching it up too, because I don't.
I mean, there are such memorable reigns, so I just go on to the old cage match here. But
I know, but it's terrible that we don't even know the answer. Is like, I'm just trying to get the history of
AJ Styles and Dragon Lee.
That's right.
Yes.
Because the point that I'm trying to make is that Austin Theory has now been a tag team champion. Dragon Lee was a tag team champion, like makeshift. Do you have the history? Like, can you give me the last year? Okay, give me the last year of the WWE tag team champions.
All right. So in 2025, to start off 2025, it was the War Raiders, Eric and Ivar. Then it was.
So by the way, okay, no, we're gonna go through everyone. So where are the War Raiders now?
Not on TV. I can find it anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember they had the WrestleMania match against New Day, and I was like, oh yeah, the War Raiders are here. And then they had their match, and it was a match, and it was like, oh, the War Raiders are out.
Okay.
New Day.
So
next one is New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods.
Yeah.
That was when they had the greatest heel turn of all time, if you ask WWE fans, and they were like, they turned on Big E and they were like, oh, this is the greatest heel turn of all time. And then look at how it turned out for them.
Yeah. Greatest heel turn of all time, which by the way, I like the New Day, but greatest heel turn of all time on a guy that was never like, there was no payoff. They were never coming back because he's like legit out forever, retired. Like, Big E was never coming back. So turning on a guy that there was going to be no payoff with, awesome.
Yes, correct. Just another masterclass of booking from Triple H. Yeah. The Judgment Day. Judgment, I've noticed, I should point this out. Judgment is spelled without an E. So it's Judgment. I guess it's
probably to get away from a copyright.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, sometimes they're just Americans that don't use a U for color or
right.
Like all kinds of different words, which you're like, that kind of looks weird.
Yes. British English over American English. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was Finn Balor and JD McDonough, by the way. That was their second title reign together. Yep. And then it was AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, as you mentioned. And then the Usos after that. And then the Vision.
Right. So exactly what team who like was a legit tag team? Hey, we are a tag team that won the tag team championships. I mean, the War Raiders weren't any good separately, but they were never at that level together either.
Mm-hmm.
The Usos are the only one on that list. Like the New Day, yes, but the New Day's time was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing against Dragon Lee. I know he's a really good competitor, but all of a sudden teaming with AJ Styles and winning the tag team championships and like, oh, we got nothing to do with JD McDonough, so we'll just put the belt on him. And now we have really nothing to do with Austin Theory, and we need to make him better, so we'll just put the belts on him and Logan, who are not really a tag team. Tell me why the Hardys would be worse when you say they won't add any value. Again, this is like the bottom of the barrel because there's no value in the tag team division at all because of what the WWE has done. And this is my opinion, but I hate to say this because I don't want anything to do with the Hardys coming in.
Yeah.
But what would they add? Maybe a little bit. Because the division's awful. Like, name me another tag team. Like if the Usos, but if the Usos who just lost the belts, if they don't get them back from Theory and Logan Paul, tell me who else, Zach, is like this. Oh man, that tag team, they're FTR. They've been kicking ass and taking names and
they got the New Day.
Yeah, but the New Day aren't even active anymore. Kofi was in some match against Penta. Somehow Kofi Kingston got an Intercontinental title match last night.
I mean, look, when you have the match, you got to take the match, you know?
I guess.
Yeah.
But they're not a tag team anymore. Like they just go on to interviews with the Netflix breaks.
That's right.
Somehow Grayson Waller's a part of the New Day, which I still don't. Yeah. I love Grayson Waller, but I don't know why he's a part of that group. But anyway.
Yeah.
Who else?
Well, it's funny. The list I have here still lists DIY, Johnny Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa. I was like, well, that's not good. That'd be a tough booking.
Which, by the way, the booking of Johnny Gargano to be so depressed and out of it and just lie on the side of the ring while that whole match went on, and then he stood up and Candice LeRae pushed him forward and he won this big match.
Yes. That was on NXT. That you mentioned, and then people wonder, Zach, why don't you watch NXT?
Oh,
why don't you watch that program?
Your boys over at the Observer, they're going on a heater on NXT.
Yeah,
Brian Alvarez
and Brian would go on about how much he loved NXT. So
no, Brian's turned like this is a full heel turn. He is going hard on NXT.
Yes,
lately about how bad it is.
Look, Brian, I have my thoughts about Brian Alvarez, and here's the thing. As a kid, or I shouldn't say a kid, like a teenager, I listened to a lot of Brian and Vinny shows around the TNA era. And that is like classic audio that people need to go back. If you hear those Brian and Vinny shows, you can hear a lot of that influence when I talk, because I listen to a lot of those shows. So I always enjoyed Alvarez's stuff, but I find recently it's clear he's not passionate about wrestling as much anymore, and like kind of views it as a job, which is kind of disappointing now. And there's a lot of stuff going on with the Observer that I could go on and on about, like some of the changes. But in this case, when he still has his fastball on stuff and he critiques booking decisions, he still has it, Lee. Like, it's still there.
He's been good lately. Yeah,
he's been good. Like, when he finds stuff, he's so good on. And I'm like, yes, Brian, this is why I listened to you all these years, because sometimes he'll get into rants that like every show he'll always talk about is like complaining about the DVR on Dynamite, and it's like, they went long again, and my DVR got cut. It's like, this is the 8th straight week you talk about this, Brian. Like let's find something else here. Like, I get it, but like,
I don't disagree with Brian. I'm with Brian.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I've had to go into my, and I'll call it a PVR for those in Canada, not a GVR, which is the same thing, but
correct.
I've actually now had to go in and change the settings, which I finally have done, to extend the program for half an hour, because they always go over, and now I don't have an issue, but I shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I you know what? I'm starting.
He's been on fire though with some of these.
I know, and I'm starting
and then the NXT fans that have been going after him is like, it's just like responding to that. It was great.
It's almost that he's turning it up because they're going after him.
Yes.
And like, this is even dumber. This is the dumbest segment I've ever seen. Like, he's really,
that's classic Brian Alvarez. Like, he is very prone to hyperbole, but like, but that's what makes it great. Like, because he always would say, I remember those old shows. He'd be like, Vinny, this is the worst. I'm telling you right now, the worst segment I think I've ever seen on this TNA show of all time. Like, he would always, like, that was his cadence and inflection. So it's like hints of that are coming back. I'm like, this is the Brian Alvarez I've been listening to all these years. But yes, to go back to that angle with Johnny Gargano, yes, that's why I do not watch NXT. A lot of people have been trying to get me to watch at least one episode and bring a review. That's not happening. I will not subject myself to that programming.
Well, they're doing
the odds, try to get me to watch NXT Stand and Deliver. I'm not going to do that. Like, it's not happening. Like, I'm not going to watch it. You all can watch it. You can tell me how great it is and how much you enjoy Booker T on commentary. You can do all that. You can enjoy Booker T going, he's got this. And, like that's all his commentary is. Okay. That's
Folks,
all
I'm going to try very hard to find a reason to get Zach to watch NXT, but even if it's like, I might have to go the opposite route, right? Like,
okay,
Zach's not going to watch it, folks, so I might have to entice him differently with, like, let's bet on outcomes. Let's bet on people booing and yaying the people that they shouldn't be. Get some the road agents together to, especially with this Zarya Sol Ruka stuff, they just continue to put in people's faces. And I think I sent you one the other day where they've been so bad for so long that now the crowd is just doing the opposite of what they continue to think that they're going to do. And then they're finally just going to like acquiesce to the crowd and then say that was our plan all along.
Yes. Oh, that was a great rant from they'll do
so true.
That exact thing. Yes.
It's just so true with everything that they do. They basically do the opposite, fall into it, have no choice but to change gears because of what the crowd is doing, and then go, that was our master plan all along. We're the smartest people ever.
Yes. I was like, when Brian's on, he is on. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, you're getting it. You're nailing it.
Yeah. And so I'll go back to, as we kind of wrap this Monday Night Raw into WrestleMania discussion, I've been listening again to Pro Wrestling 24/7 on Sirius XM, and it's hard because the super fan gets on me, and I probably owe him a bit of an apology because I got on him a little bit too hard last week because he doesn't really listen to it, but he makes comments about it. And like when I've spent the time listening to it, I'm like, that's not what they were saying. And
to be fair to Superfan, I'm kind of in his ballpark as well on that when it comes to the Sirius XM programming.
So that's fine. My point is like having opinions on something that you're not watching or that you're not listening is tougher than actually. It's like why I want you to watch NXT because you haven't really critiqued the angles because you're not watching.
Correct.
We're talking about like bigger stuff than that. But it's why I kind of want you to watch NXT because I want to hear you after. Like, because you've actually had to sit down and watch through. And that's kind of what I feel like when I listen to those guys. It's like, well, now you guys are commenting on things that you haven't heard and you're taking one tweet, but you didn't actually listen to the programs. But having said that, I probably owe this super fan an apology, and I do. So I'm sorry. I probably got on him a little too tough when I was just trying to egg him on.
Yeah,
but he didn't love it, and I understand. So I apologize for that. It probably came across a little harsher than I was just trying to egg him on.
Yeah,
but I still think if you listen to Bully Ray, and I am getting somewhere with this, that if you listen to Bully Ray, he is not a WWE apologist. There are WWE apologists on that channel. And certainly my man, not Sam Roberts would be one of them.
Yes.
But even Bully, I love it. Bully calls that show the happy yay yay show. Like nothing's ever negative, like never critical of anything that they're doing. It's always like accentuating the positive, but never saying the rest of it. By the way, Megan Morant, who has filled in, and she has worked for the WWE before. She doesn't work for them anymore, but she has worked for them previously. Is she Canadian?
I don't think so. I'll search it up.
Only because we got to see her on some of the Canadian programming, but she did just qualify for the Olympic trials in the marathon, which is
wow. I just saw that there as I pulled it up.
And I feel like she is really, really fair about the WWE and about all wrestling. Like she just doesn't she's not a homer.
Gotcha.
And
says here she resides in Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay. So it's just we saw her on a bunch of Canadian promos, and like she would always be on with Scott Stanford, about
our buddy and pal Scott Stanford. Thank you very much.
But she would always be on with him, like pumping up the shows in Toronto or Montreal or Ottawa or wherever else. So but I think she does a really good job. But to the point, Zach, and this is why we do the podcast. I've been listening to that station a lot more. And what I'm doing is I'm listening to it for like 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. Like because the callers are like the stupidest people I've ever met. And when they hung up on me, I'm not the most intelligent guy in the world, but when people are like, let's go to Jimmy in Texas, and Jimmy, who do you think Randy Orton's talking to? And I think he's talking to Jake the Snake Roberts. He was a royal pain in the ass in like 1987. And I'm like, what are you even talking about? And then I would shut the radio off for like 2 or 3 minutes and just get some sanity back. But then I would put it back on, and like just some of the dumbest people. Like, I don't, and I'm like, thank God we have a podcast that we can just talk through some of this stuff rather than,
Yes.
Hey, Zach, do you think it's Jake the Snake Roberts that he's talking to?
Well, I think you might be right. I mean, he is a royal pain in the ass.
Oh my God. Like, and good on the hosts for not like completely yelling at them. But I think some of them are very fair.
Yep.
To both sides. So that's all I'll say. I'm glad I got the apology.
I did see that Tony Khan interacted with Vince Russo and Jonathan Coachman on Twitter. I don't know if you saw this, but Tony Khan just complimented Vince Russo because he's been booking, because of course he's been booking just in general, but he's been booking JCW, Juggalo Championship Wrestling, and Tony Khan complimented Vince Russo, and Russo has just been having a field day with that one interaction with. This is what I mean to people. It's like you give those guys any sense of oxygen, they will just breathe that up, because all Vince Russo has been doing ever since that one interaction, he's been tweeting at Tony. He's like, Tony, if we come together, bro, we could come up with the greatest booking ideas that pro wrestling has never seen before, bro. We could, you have my email, bro. Like, let's talk, bro. Like, that's all he's been doing the last little bit. It's like, oh, what a dork he is, Vince Russo. Yeah. Like, didn't we watched that Dark Side of the Ring episode of Bash at the Beach? He's like, I hate pro wrestling, bro. Like, pro wrestling never treated me great, bro. Yeah. I never want to get back into a booking position, bro, because they just don't treat me with respect, bro. And now he's going back on. It's like, bro, let's come up with some ideas, bro. I know you've been listening to the show, bro, and you've been talking about the JCW, bro. Let's come up with some ideas. A dork. But that's nothing new when it comes to Vince Russo.
Yeah. Probably need some money. Yes. You mentioned, before we move off of this, because I think there is some pretty big news when it comes to wrestling in Canada, which we'll get to in a minute. But you mentioned Sami Zayn winning the U.S. title.
Yep.
So sometimes the internet is a very bad place, but sometimes they kind of give you the moral compass of what's going on. And it does feel like there's some support. So Carmelo Hayes comes in, wins the U.S. title on a taped show, really has done a great job, and I think they've booked it as well as they could have with Carmelo there, and like all kinds of stuff with Dragunov and, you know, big time opponents. Great matches, usually the best match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And now with interference on one of those three of the exact same types of interference, Trick Williams ends up hitting Carmelo, and Sami Zayn is your new U.S. champion, which doesn't make a lot of sense. And they immediately say that Trick and Sami is the WrestleMania match. So I'll ask you two things. Number one, Sami Zayn and the whole storytelling, that he finally can't capture, like, he just can't capture the world title and the one thing he's been chasing his whole career. And so weeks before WrestleMania, they just give him the U.S. title. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And do you think we'll see Carmelo, or is it just going to be Trick and Sami?
I don't think they think that highly of Carmelo Hayes like the fans do. When I'm talking about the WWE creative there, I don't think they see the upside in Carmelo. I think Carmelo's a very good wrestler. And clearly they have been, clearly when he goes out there, he has some of the better matches on the show. But name me a WWE PLE that Carmelo Hayes has been on. In our time just reviewing the WWE PLEs, just in general. Like, he is never on those WWE PLEs.
No, they save for most of the time for those PLEs where they only have 4 or 5 matches. What they do, and I think that this is a terrible decision, but what they do is they have SmackDown in the same city, in the same building the night before, and they use the U.S. title, the a little bit less of the Intercontinental title, but the U.S. title, the tag belts, the women's tag belts, the women's Intercontinental belt, they use them to put title changes over or big time matches on that to make people feel like they're getting some value on the Friday night before they go into the PLEs.
Yes.
And he has often been in those situations.
Yeah. And I think that's because they don't view him as a star on the level of a Trick or a Sammy or anything like that. I think I think it's pretty clear they got a ceiling on him. So I think because obviously they got 2 nights they have to fill, and WrestleMania is going to be your showcase of guys that you want on there. And Trick is somebody they obviously have very high expectations on in terms of being a star. And he's got your typical WWE look that they're going for. And Sammy's already an established guy. And if you want Trick Williams to be taking that next step, you want to have him in there with a really good wrestler in Sami Zayn. So I think that's what the thought process is in all of this is like, okay, we want to get Trick to this next level. We want to try and like push him up in a certain way. We're going to make this Trick and Sammy match and just go with that. So that's how I think it's being viewed. I agree with you though. It's been weird because it's like Sammy has been having these interactions with Cody Rhodes and Cody saying he's not world champion material. And it's like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Maybe there'll be a Cody heel turn in the future. And then Sammy could challenge Cody and like make Cody eat his words in the future. Maybe that's something going down the line, but no, we're going to go put him in the US title mix and give him, that's going to be his big plan at WrestleMania.
I just don't understand it at all. No,
get fired up.
And just sort of speaking about the Intercontinental title, after Penta beat Kofi Kingston, somehow Kofi got the title match. They're going to have a ladder match at WrestleMania because Penta wants to, I guess. Yeah. So who are we going to see in that match, Zach? We're going to see your boy Rusev.
Oh yes, my boy Rusev. How many back bumps is that gonna take in the ladder match?
0. Who else? We got Dragon Lee.
Yeah. Javon Evans.
Yeah.
And JD McDonough.
Yeah. So my thought, like you were talking about, was this is the WrestleMania that it's like this crazy juxtaposition for me.
Yeah.
We're going back to telling people about 2009 Randy Orton, and we're going to have, CM Punk in the main event, and he's been around forever. And not that Roman's been around forever, but he's been in main events of WrestleMania for the last decade more than anybody else.
Right.
And we're going to have Cody Rhodes. We're going to have Randy Orton, and we're going to have like all these kind of aging, like Brock Lesnar is going to be in like the middle of this, and like these aging veterans that are on their way out. They were going to have Rey Mysterio before he got hurt. And then on the other side, it's almost like, okay, who do we think are the next big stars? We've heard all of this ridicule that there hasn't been a champion under 40. We've heard all of this, like WWE doesn't produce new stars. So we're going to go out. We're going to give you Obafemi, and we're going to give you Trick Williams, and we're going to give you Javon Evans.
Yep.
And those are the 3 guys. I wouldn't be shocked that all 3 of them win their matches.
I agree.
At WrestleMania. And them to come out of WrestleMania going, we do have a new world, a younger world, and look at our new stars. Obafemi beats Brock Lesnar. Javon Evans wins this ladder match with all the guys and wins the Intercontinental title, and Trick Williams wins the US title. Like literally all of them, they're going to put titles on the new guys, or for Oba, he's going to beat Brock. And it feels to me now like you can't criticize us for not having new stars, because look at all of our new stars. But remember 2009 Randy Orton. Remember, like the Hardys might jump their way back in, and like the Usos and the New Day and like all of this crazy nostalgia of guys that used to be good 10 or 15 years ago. But don't worry, we're gonna tell you about all of our new stars. That's the way it feels to me.
Yep. It really does feel that way.
I feel bad for Sami Zayn. And the only other thing I would say is that it's been a long time since Kevin Owens has been out now.
Yep.
Right? Isn't it been, he missed last WrestleMania, right? With the neck?
I thought it was a little bit after the last WrestleMania. I will confirm that for you here.
See, I thought he wrestled at the Rumble and then hurt his neck and then never really.
I'm just looking through the card here.
Yeah, I mean, you could look up on Cage Match 2, his last match. But I think it's been close to a year. Kevin Owens put out a video. I don't know if you saw it.
Nope.
Like yesterday, just about, it was one of those like stuffy Cody Rhodes kind of dolls. And it was just one of those videos. Like it didn't have any context and you couldn't really see what it was. And then the camera zoomed back out and it was like a Cody Rhodes stuffy going up and down with his music, and that Kevin Owens thought it was funny. But I wonder, like, if there's any meaning in that at all.
Mm-hmm. The last match, by the way, was the Elimination Chamber match between he and Sami Zayn at Rogers Center in Toronto.
Right. So that would have been in February.
Yeah. So that was before Mania. So you're right.
Yeah. It's been over a year. Like we're looking at, I know he didn't have surgery until the summer. Like it took a while for him to have surgery, but he's been out a long time. And you wonder, sometimes he'll just put stuff out just to screw with people and get people thinking, and that's part of it. But anyway, I wonder how close we are to a Kevin Owens return. So speaking about return, Zach, how about Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling? It's going to debut on TSN MLP Mayhem in July. Canadian wrestling back on Canadian TV. Now, it was tough to hear the news. Josh Alexander hurt, going to have surgery. Don't know how long he is going to be out. He released a video kind of right after he got the news, which is tough to hear. But at the latest, like MLP, the 2-night extravaganza and Global Wars, how about we got a new MLP Canadian champion in the name of Stu Grayson?
Yeah.
Let's go. I was pumped for Stu.
Me too. I'm happy for him. I think that guy, I mean, I've seen his matches. I've called a match of his, and, obviously fortunate enough to have him here. Well, when I mean here in the Ottawa area and seen him wrestle for C4 for so many years. And then obviously he went to AEW, went there twice, and just never seemed to be able to find a way to kind of be a established regular in the rotation in the mid card or wherever. So I'm glad that he's getting this opportunity to be the world champion. I know it's on an interim basis, but still that kind of sets up a future program between he and Josh Alexander when Alexander gets healthy. I felt bad for Josh Alexander too, getting that injury and just the timing of it all. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what they do with Stu. This is gonna be a big spot for him in terms of like now he's got to be a champion on top of a Canadian wrestling company that now has this deal with TSN. That's going to be a big spot for him to kind of come up. And I've noticed too that they've really put a lot of focus on the Canadians won the titles at their last range of shows, which I thought was interesting. Like obviously Stu Grayson winning, but also the Canadian Tag Team Championships, Brent Banks and Sheldon Jean.
How about that?
I could tell you for a fact that Scott DeBoer is a big Sheldon Jean guy, so I'm not surprised that he has got him pushed up there. And we've seen Brent Banks at C4 as well, part of that storyline with Stone and Vanessa Craven a few years back, and then Giselle Shaw still having the women's championship. So all
she lost the previous night to Deonna Purrazzo for the pure title, but then defeated Deonna Purrazzo to retain the Canadian championship.
Yep.
And you're right. Like Sheldon Jean obviously having himself a heck of a few months here, winning the C4 championship and now being Canadian tag team champions with Brent Banks.
Yeah. He's somebody I've always, like, last couple of years, I'm surprised neither one of the companies picked him up, because he is somebody that he's wrestled in Japan for Pro Wrestling Noah. He went on an excursion there, and he's somebody that also, he's worked a lot of indies. He had some exposure on Big Brother Canada as well. So I was surprised he hadn't been called up sooner, but sometimes, some of the bigger companies miss out on some of these talents. So I'm very interested to see what they're able to do with these champions that they have. Because Stu Grayson winning it was pretty big. It's very interesting how they've kind of got things laid out at MLP right now.
So let's get back to the fact that they're going to debut on TSN in July. Now, it is going to be a bit of an old school thing. And so I think it'll be how we cover it, how other people cover it. I wonder. So let's talk about it. So sure. they are going to do a bunch of tapings on June 12th and June 13th. And then the show is going to debut in July. And then they're going to do more tapings August 7th and 8th in Windsor. So it's going to be a show that's going to be on, but for the hardcore wrestling fan, if you want to know everything that happens in like 2 or 3 months, you can read it, pretty much all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that will matter? Like we can't do that with, like, they don't tape Monday Night Raw and SmackDown very much. They don't tape Dynamite unless it's like a, Christmas or something like that. And they do tape Collision a little bit, but they've been getting back to going live with Collision more on AEW. And if they do tape it, they'll tape it on Wednesday or Thursday to air on Saturday. And, it airs pretty quickly. This is back to the old school where on June 12th or 13th, like, they're going to tape, 5 weeks or 6 weeks worth of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to do it again August 7th and 8th. And how do you feel about that?
It is interesting that's the deal that they came to. It makes me believe that I have no inside information on the deal itself. I know that they were trying to look for a big Canadian broadcaster. They were looking at, obviously they were able to secure it with TSN. There was also some talks, it's still with the Bell Media side, but there were some talks of maybe putting on Crave as well. So obviously this is the deal that they came up with. My feeling is either this television show is going to air after Dynamite. So you're going to have your 2-hour run of Dynamite on Wednesday, then an hour episode of MLP after the Dynamite show to lead the wrestling fans in.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, there's also the partnership. It seems like there's more of a growing partnership between Scott D'Amore and Tony Khan. Yep. Tony Khan was at the MLP shows over the weekend. So that's my feeling of that's what they're going to do. I think they'll be okay. I think the big thing I always say is that sometimes with the spoilers that come out, sometimes with spoilers, you see something and you're like, oh, I got to watch this. Like, this is the match that they're doing on TV. I got to see how this match played out. So there can be that sort of deal. And in some cases, because it's so far out when it comes to knowing stuff, I can tell you that when Ring of Honor did their spoilers and their TV tapings, it's like, oh, I know what's happening at this Ring of Honor show, but then it'll be like 4 weeks later, and then it's like, oh, I've actually kind of forgotten what happened at this Ring of Honor show because it's just been so far out. Might as well watch the show to remember. So I don't think it's a big deal for me personally to have it be taped, and that would mean the spoilers would get out. It's not a big deal for me personally. It's all about the quality of the show. If the show's not very good and then the spoilers become a little bit more of a thing. It's like, that's what happened on the show. That's what I'm going to follow. And I'll just say for the bigger events that MLP does.
Right. I think so. For me, I'm going to try very hard to stay away from the spoilers, to just watch the show, because I want to support the Canadian content, and I would like to kind of follow it like I don't know what's happening every week.
Right.
We'll see how that goes. So I am really excited about MLP being on TSN, because what I think, Zach, and we want to get into this a little bit, that because the WWE has gone completely Netflix in Canada, and they are, we still talk about the pricing of the WWE events, and people can't afford to go. And, I think as that continues, you're seeing the reduction in prices for WrestleMania. They're adding things like, Cody Rhodes was on Busted Open, and his $10,000 a seat part of the bus, and he's like, yeah, it's absurd. Like, even he said, like, it's absurd.
Yes.
And he did what I think most people would do in the spot that he's in. It's like, I'm just so grateful that people would pay it. But yeah, it's an enormous amount of money, and you're just pricing out the regular fan all the time. But when it comes to Canada, I think this is a perfect setup for AEW and, TSN or whoever is going to cover it, because there's no way that TSN is going to take on another wrestling program without the fact that AEW Dynamite has been very successful for them. Period. End of story.
Yep.
It flashes up on the screen with the banners all the time. No matter what, they do not preempt AEW Dynamite on TSN, whether it's on TSN2 or whatever channel it's on. They never preempt it.
Yeah, that's a great point. I don't think they've ever preempted AEW Dynamite in the time that it's been on the air.
It might be on, depending on what's on, like your local channels. Like, for us, TSN1 in Ottawa, like if the Sens are playing or something like that, yeah, it'll be on TSN2. Or does it have to be moved sometimes to TSN3? Yes, but it's always on at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Always, always, always. And the reason I'm saying all this is because the numbers and the proof is in the pudding when it comes to that. The fact that they have those banners on the screen for a lot of their programming during the day and at night, and that they always have AEW Dynamite on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, it is doing well. And for them to take on a second wrestling program, when we all know, like, we can talk about the downfall of the business in general, and that people aren't watching things anymore, and they're doing them all on their phones, and the radio and the TV and everything has sort of gone downhill. Think about folks that TSN, who is getting rid of, and Bell Media, who are getting rid of a lot of different things, not unlike Rogers, not unlike other people who, Chorus, who are getting rid of a lot, whether it's cutbacks, whether it's just programming decisions. They are taking on a second wrestling program on television on their channels. Why are they doing that? Because it's successful, and probably more successful than most things, because it's a second wrestling program that they are going to take on. And you can tell me they got 5 channels to fill and all of this stuff. They are not taking this on if there isn't a genuine interest in that people are watching.
Absolutely. Especially when it comes to wrestling, the reputation that wrestling has. And I'll just say it, there's a reputation within wrestling in terms of its audience and what kind of audience it attracts. So the fact that TSN is willing to bring in a second wrestling, even if it's just on TSN Plus, which I don't think it's going to be the case. I think it's going to be on one of those channels. It'll probably be on after Dynamite again. That's my guess, but we'll see. But the fact that they're taking on a second wrestling company and having a television deal with them, I think is pretty big. I mean, we're going back now to I think in the late 90s, I wasn't, watching wrestling at that time, but WCW and WWF were on the same channel on TSN, if I recall, for a time in the late 90s. So I think it's kind of going back to that time. I could be wrong on that, but obviously they eventually stuck with WWF for sure.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look, but I don't think you're wrong. I'd have to go back and look, but I do believe they showed WWE first, but sometimes they would. I think they showed Nitro after that, or it's like through the night, or something like
along
that.
Those lines. Because I know that on those old off the records show with Michael Landsberg, he would have both WCW and WWF guys on. Like I remember he had Bischoff on for a time, and then he had Vince on, of course, and so that would be the first time in a long time that they've had two wrestling companies on. So again, even when we were there before,
so they did air it Tuesday afternoons at 4:00.
There you go. So not live. So that's the big thing too, is like they're showing Dynamite live, and we'll see with the MLP obviously is going to be a pre-tape, but that's still a big deal, especially for this area. So, and I could tell you for both Lee and I, now we've been out of the Bell Media building for a while now, which is hard to believe. But I just saw the look on your face, Lee, when I said that. But when we were there, when Dynamite was on, like they were playing commercials for Dynamite on the radio too.
Oh, all the time.
All the time. And people would come up to us and be like, what's this Dynamite that keeps airing? Is that like a WWE subsection? It's like, no, it's completely different. It's something else. So.
People that would ask that didn't want to hear the answer.
Correct. I always find it funny that people are like, oh, pro wrestling is so simple. Like, how can people like it? Yet they never understand what it is.
They ask about it, but they're not even close to wanting to intake the answer.
No.
So then why are you asking? Like,
you don't have to ask me.
No,
like,
exactly.
Like, it's okay.
Exactly. So I guess my point about all of this, like, it's great for Canadian fans, but it then begs the question of like, there does seem to be this working relationship. Like obviously Ring of Honor was part of the weekend in Windsor, and, Tony Khan working with Scott D'Amore. And are they, the more it seems like, I know All In's in Wembley, but the more it seems that the WWE is pushing all of these, like we got shows in Saudi. I believe they have one coming up in Italy, a PLE after WrestleMania.
Yep.
And we know that they've done France, and they've done Germany, and they've done, the UK, and they've done a lot of different places, Australia as well. I know AEW's done Australia as well, but the more they seem to be pushing this worldwide thing, I see this little collection now of AEW that's at the top, but with Tony Khan's Ring of Honor and MLP and some of the other things that are almost, hey, like, let's just stick in North America. Let's make it more reasonable for people. And while they're doing their worldwide, bringing in as much money as they possibly can thing, we're going to almost, I hate to call North America a territory, but like kind of seems like it.
Yeah, kind of a world territory.
Kind of seems like it right now. Like, let's just stick within North America, and we'll have Canada and Mexico on the side of the US, and we'll have deals with both of Mexico and Canada, which now AEW is doing, right? Like, with CMLL, and of course WWE is a deal with AAA where they just
bought them.
They
own the company now. Yeah,
and then have basically stolen all their titles. And but good luck to all those AAA guys that think that that's going to benefit them. But there has been more of a working relationship with CMLL, where I don't think AEW has just said, oh, like, we're way better than you, and we're just going to use your things. Yes, they've had wrestlers like Claudio win their titles, Mercedes Moné, but they've gone back and lost them. And, Hechicero beat Claudio for the belt, which we haven't really talked about either. But I think that I look at that as more of a working relationship. And I just see all these working relationships now that AEW's got, like New Japan, CMLL, and now kind of using Ring of Honor with MLP a little bit to get. I think this is a great strategy for AEW to kind of focus in on the North American side. And it looks like that's what they're doing. And that's going to benefit a lot of people in Canada for sure.
Yep. And it'll be good in terms of talent acquisition for them, in terms of scouting talent and getting new eyeballs on them. And so that's the big thing for me is like, there's so much. And again, I call Canadian indies, so I might be a little biased when I say this, but I truly believe there are a bunch of guys on the independent scene in Canada right now that like could be on television today if they were given the opportunity. I really do. Like I like now Tony Khan has kind of seen it with London Lightning. But there are other wrestlers as well that are out there. Like I look at a Junior Benito. I look at, Hot Stepper has really been stepping up his game recently, and like he's gotten himself in really good shape. He's somebody that keeping an eye on. Bunch of Drea Mitchell just recently did the Lodestone stuff with Bailey. Layla Wild is somebody I continue to like bang the desk on and just say, hey, look, you've got to keep an eye on her because she is going to be a big time star in my mind. There's a lot of really good wrestlers on the independent scene, and that was one of the things when I came out from the Remix show and went to my chat with my dad's like, how'd you enjoy the show? What'd you think of it? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, they are all so athletic. Like he was blown away about the athleticism that was on display with a lot of the wrestlers. And they're just very, very good pro wrestlers right now. So I'm hoping that Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling can tap into that and look and scout for some of these Canadian guys. My only real concern with Maple Leaf is that, they've brought in some outside talents like a Baron Corbin and a Good Brothers and whatnot. And I'm like, man, like you could be so different from everybody else if it was just an all Canadian promotion, like just all Canadian. And like, why would you what is really going to be the benefit just because Bishop Dwyer was on TV as Baron Corbin and the Good Brothers were on TV as Baron Corbin? What's really going to make them stand out? I know we've talked about this on the show where sometimes you just have to go to these television folks and be like, look, in the case of AEW, it's like, we have Chris Jericho here. He's a big star. Like he was a selling feature. You have to have some recognizable names. But to me, like what's going to be the thing that makes Maple Leaf stand out? To me, if it's an all Canadian wrestling promotion, like all Canadian wrestlers, really embracing that Canadian wrestling. It's like, oh, like all the American guys are there in AEW or whatnot, but like there's all these great Canadian wrestlers that are up here. Like, let's go take a look at these. That's going to be the big thing is like, what's going to make yourself stand out in the market at this stage?
But you have, so I don't disagree with you, but you have to have some established stars to be able to put this on TV to get the following, right? So it's too bad that Josh Alexander got hurt. Like that sucks, but you almost have to have some of them that have gone to these places to get a name. And how many Canadian guys and girls have there really been that have gone to other places to get their name to come back and be a big part of this? Like Josh Alexander is one of the biggest. And the fact that he got hurt, hopefully he can get back in time to, have maybe a program with Stu and be able to do that. I don't mind the odd American or Mexican coming in because I do think it adds some value to what you're doing as far as star. But I don't like it when all of a sudden, like if Baron Corbin came in and he was Bishop Dwyer and he was the champion of MLP. Agreed. Or like, that's where I draw the line of like, you can use people to come in because the wrestling fans are really smart and they would like to watch some really good, talented pro wrestlers. I can get into that, but I don't want them near the top championships. And you don't to me, you don't get heat because Bishop Dwyer is now your MLP champion and he's American. And no, that's not heat. That's like, you've tuned me out. That's different than actual heat.
Yeah.
So
even if it's just primarily Canadian, like even just primarily Canadian, where it's like, oh, that's where all the great Canadian wrestlers are. Like, and then you throw in some of the Americans that are in there. But like what you said, like, I don't need and they took them off the Good Brothers, which is good. I don't need the Good Brothers as tag team champions.
No, I think they just brought they had them for one day, right?
Yep.
They won the tag team champions so that Sheldon Jean and Brent Banks could win them and could have beat somebody, have some credibility. Like they not only won the titles, but they beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's perfect for the Good Brothers to come in and do that. Like to set up the promotion, not to come in and win the tag team titles in the Canadian MLP and then have them for 6 months and have them steal the titles and we're never gonna bring them back to Canada. Like, come on, I don't need that.
Yeah, I agree.
But the wrestling fan again is very smart.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what I hear on the 24/7 station, and the people that they choose to put on, the diehard wrestling fan can be very smart. It's the casual fan but those people want to go to the events, they want to go to the tapings and be like, oh man, I never expected to see, I don't know, like pick a guy in CMLL, right? Like
Mystico.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, Mystico's like their top guy, but even like Hechicero winning the belt, or like I never expected to see Mystico when I was here, and then Mystico has an unbelievable match with Brent Banks, or like pick whoever, and you remember that match, but Mystico isn't winning the title and having to cut promos in Spanish on your Canadian television, right? Like that's. We don't need that. So there's a balance there for me. I would really like to see a little bit of star power, but to me, even it's almost like the young star power where if you brought in, like you assume that Mike Bailey's going to be, hopefully doing both of AEW and can go into MLP. Well, if Kevin Knight comes with them and they're wrestling like this tag team match against Banks and Sheldon Jean, and they have an unbelievable match, like I'm there for that. Like Kevin Knight isn't Canadian, but that's okay. And he's not there to like win the title and steal the title and be a bad guy because he's American. He's coming up as well and getting more reps because this is a good promotion for him to be in. He can get seen by more people. That's the kind of exposure.
That's a great point too, because what's the thing? You sent me this text from Dave about something that Tyson Kidd mentioned when it comes to reps and wrestling and these guys that are coming up in NXT.
Tyson, just to explain, Tyson Kidd was on talking about the reps, and he's like, last year in 2025, the person that had the most matches in the entire company was LA Knight. And it was like 63 or something like that, 64.
Yep.
And he's like, that's the most. And we have young guys coming up that are getting, 20 and 30 and 40 matches a year. And it's only going down for some people. Like, imagine, so he was talking about the guys, to your point, about on the indies and getting exposure and reps and all that stuff. There are other people that are getting, like on the indies, they're wrestling 100 times. They're wrestling 150 times a year. And over a 3 or 4 year span, they're wrestling 600 matches, while our top guy is going to be at 190 matches in 3 years. Like, who's going to be better? Yeah, you have star power and the it quality and all that stuff, but this is reps. Well, in 3, 4, 5 years, all the best people are going to be the indie guys because they've wrestled 600 times. Well, some of our talents are going to be wrestling 100 times. How are they supposed to get better?
Yep.
That was the point that Tyson Kidd was making. And this is another example that not only are you getting reps with a new, MLP that's going to be doing more stuff, but it's going to be shown all over Canada on their major sports network. Like, that's a really good thing. And so to me, it's guys like Kevin Knight. It's guys like, I mean, Mystico's the top guy in CMLL, but like everything we've watched from El Clone, I don't really understand like why he's a bad guy and what his personality is, but every time I watch him in the ring, he's amazing.
Yep.
Like he comes and wrestles a little bit more up here. Great. Just don't need the top guys coming in to steal the belts and being like the super bad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all.
Yeah. That's the big thing is like with the continued erasure of house shows and, you know, less and less of those reps coming in. I'm not saying it's got to be a WWF schedule in 1986 where they were working like every day of the week. Like but there has to be one of those, the things about those house shows is, you know, it's hard to believe I'm trying to explain the concept of house shows now because they're just so like a different concept. But at the time, having the house show was there because you would have the two guys that you wanted to set up a program with fight off against each other. They would have their match over different crowds at those house shows that eventually, when you would get to TV, they were already familiar with each other and knew how they could put their match together. And then it would show up on TV and you would have the best quality match, technically, you know, from all those reps. But now with all the house shows going away and you see the amount of matches that these guys are having, you know, starting to go down. You mentioned it with that Tyson Kidd clip where he mentioned it was only 62 matches for LA Knight, and he was the one that got the most matches in WWE.
That's
and
insane.
Even you just look, which is insane. And you look at some of the people in NXT as well. Like that's the same thing with a lot of those NXT wrestlers where they're just coming in. It's like they show a lot of potential, but they're not getting a lot of the reps to really kind of grow and elevate. And so this is an opportunity, like you mentioned, on television to have some more reps and to have an opportunity to kind of showcase yourself in front of an audience so that you can grow and get a better. It's different, obviously, for the established guys because, you know, those guys, they kind of want to have lesser reps as they get older and they want to be a little bit more special when they come out in the ring. But when you're somebody that's on the come up and you're trying to get better and you're trying to be better in the ring, reps are such a big deal. So being able to have a Maple Leaf Pro like that, you want to talk about reps, like those are some reps on a big national television stage in Canada, and having that connection and being able to have different opponents. It's one of the deals why I always try and tell people is, you know, with the indies is like, you see these guys just getting better and better whenever you go out and watch indies. So it is very exciting. I am wondering, you know, how long the television deal is going to last for. Is it going to be something that's like a year, prove it thing or whatnot? But the fact that they have been able to get on to TSN, there was a time where I was like, maybe this Maple Leaf thing isn't going to work out the way that they hope for. But this is big and I'm hopeful that it could be good. We'll see when it comes to their booking pattern and what they do. You know, I've said in the past with Scott DeBoer in terms of his booking, I think he was a little bit, it's funny with Seth earlier. I thought he was kind of pushed a little bit too highly as far in regards to his booking ability. Mm-hmm. But I still think he's a solid enough booker. He was somebody that really established the scene in Windsor when he was down there. That's why they've been having all those shows in Windsor, is because DeMoor is just a name down there and has booked shows that have a good rep down in Windsor and get good crowds. So I'm interested to see what he's able to do on a national scale and what he's able to do with the guys that he's bringing in. And if there is going to be some sort of scouting element and trying to find different wrestlers that they can bring in and try and fill out this roster. So, and him bringing in Kaito Kiyomiya from Pro Wrestling Noah is also interesting too. Like Kiyomiya did some stuff for in Windsor. He had his excursion in Canada, so that's why he has the connection back to Maple Leaf Pro. Yep. And he's a solid pro wrestler. It's just Noah's never been committed to a push with him. That's a whole different thing. But yeah, it's very exciting right now. I'm interested to see what they're able to do, and I'm sure when that July date rolls around, we'll have the debut of MLP Mayhem on TSN. We'll come up with a review and see what comes of that. Hopefully it will be much better than when I reviewed the TNA debut on Access and I questioned all of my life choices as the show was going on during that. And I still have to remember that Mr. Whatever revealing and being like, wow, this is genuinely awful TV that I'm watching. But yeah, it's I don't think it'll be like that with MLP.
So,
and I think it's also big that they have these names like Stu Grayson, Brent Banks, Sheldon Jeans being kind of the first ones, if they're still champion by that point, being the first names that they showcase on this debut episode.
yeah, I mean, we go to C4 and see some really good athletes. You do Remix and Acclaim in the area, and there's lots of different promotions where you see a couple of people and you're like, oh wow, look at them. I was just looking up. So Ric Flair is one of those guys, right? That 1982, he recorded 286 singles matches. And again, back then it's very difficult on some of the non-televised house shows. They say that it's very possible that he was in somewhere between 400 and 410 in the year 1982.
Jeez. Because they would do double shots. So
100% afternoon show.
Yep.
And then, sometimes they would book him in the middle of the afternoon show.
Yep.
So that he could have 4 or 5 hours to get to the next town to wrestle that night.
Yep.
Crazy, eh?
Yep.
And
people hear that and might think that's wrestler talk, and sometimes it is, but like in this case, no. A lot of those wrestlers during that time worked a lot of double shots, so they worked way more matches in a year than some wrestlers have right now in the next 5 years. It's crazy.
Well, he defended the title, the NWA heavyweight title, 220 times in 1982. And that is not tag team matches. That is not house shows. That is, you know what I mean? Like that is how many times did you just wrestle a singles match and defend the title?
Yep.
So yeah, it's an enormous amount. And there's a reason why there are some really, really good ones. He wasn't the only one, but yeah, there's always going to be bad ones. But when you're getting rep after rep after rep after rep, and you see some of these young kids that come across and they're just not wrestling enough.
Yeah.
And you can see it when you watch these matches, that you can see it. And it's this trickle down effect of when somebody doesn't have a ton of experience, what do you plan to do? Well, you overbook it.
Yep.
You write every single tiny little thing, and then they're methodically trying to follow the steps in their head, and they're not reacting naturally because you're telling them every step of every move because they don't have experience, and you think that that's the thing to do.
And because they're so many times when the match breaks down that they just look like a deer in the headlights. Because like, oh my gosh, that wasn't what's supposed to happen. Like, what do I do now? And they get stuck, right? And they have to wait for the call from the official that's coming from the back to be like, okay, this is what you're going to do now, as opposed to like naturally reacting, moving on to the next spot.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, we're all looking forward to MLP getting on the air. So it'll be something for us to follow. And hopefully as we make a bigger push on OSN and This Is Wrestling to be able to jump into some of this stuff. So that is very exciting. Always a good episode, Zach, when we go this long, talk about a number of things.
Yep.
Including our daily lives and then into the WWE for a while. Right. I'm hoping that the road to WrestleMania gets better. I'm trying to feign some interest, but I've felt like I've said this the last couple of years, and I'm not going to say it's the most ever, but I don't have a lot of excitement moving towards WrestleMania. And I say that as a fan who wants to, and I kind of say this every year now, but I want to have some excitement. I want to be like, oh, okay. Even if I don't love everything, I'm really into this and this and this. And I don't have a ton of that right now for WrestleMania on either night. And I want to. I feel like once the day appears, I'm still going to be interested in Roman and CM Punk. But I'm telling you, after that, you're going to have to work really hard for me to be interested, because as much interest I can have about Brock Lesnar and Obafemi, they're two guys that simply haven't wrestled very much at all in the last little bit.
Yep.
So what are you actually going to get out of it? I don't know. So we'll see. as it goes along. Hopefully the road gets a little bit better, but we're about 3 weeks away, give or take. So want everybody to have a good Easter. Are you coming back to the Ottawa area for Easter?
That's the plan. If the Golden Hawks somehow come back and win, that kind of changes things in a little bit, because I believe the first game would be that Good Friday. So we'll see.
So if they win, hold on. So as we sit here on Tuesday, and then they play tonight, and then if they win, they play tomorrow.
Yep.
And then their first game would be on Friday of the next series?
I believe that's the case.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it'd be a tough turnaround.
And then would they play 2 at home, like Friday and Sunday?
That would be, I believe that would be the plan.
On Easter Sunday, they're playing.
They've done it on Easter before. Right. I wouldn't put it past them. They have for sure done it on Good Friday before.
Yeah.
So it's maybe not Easter Sunday. It maybe an Easter Monday, but usually with the games in the OJHL, I find they're always either Friday nights, Sundays, or Tuesdays. At least for me, when it comes to calling Golden Hawks games. So they might save it for Tuesday. Who knows?
Playoffs are a bit different, but because they got to get them in.
Yep.
I only ask because I don't know if the super fan has reached out to you as we discuss things on the air that probably shouldn't be, but he has asked me. I mean, that's what this show is. It's, hey, we're giving you insight into what happens here. Yeah. Okay. So I don't apologize for that. Let's you in.
Yep. This is TIW Unreal right now. This is what's going on. Emmy nominated.
Let's go very real and not put the unreal beside it.
Sure.
Because
TIW real.
Yeah, we're reeling. All right.
That's right.
People are, as they were like, end the show. But the reason I ask is because the super fan has reached out to, he's got a whole bunch of he's got new games. He's got shorts. And he wondered, he reached out to me, is the head of the program, the man that carries TIW, Zach McGibbon, coming back into the area for Easter, because we could get a lot done for the fans.
Yes.
That's what he was saying. We could get, a few hours of Zach's time. And he's like, it looks like he's got a bunch ready, like some random randomizers, some new games. He's got all sorts of things ready in the holster. So he wondered if you were coming up for Easter. So
that is the plan right now. Unless the Golden Hawks come back and win, then it totally throws everything to a halt.
Go Newmarket!
Oh God, no. No.
We love the Ray 20 complex. Let's go. It's where Connor McDavid learns his craft.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, it's on the road. It's
you're talking like the team now. It's on the road. It's going to be tough. Game 6. Like, yeah, stop. I actually hope they win tonight. Yeah. So to lose 8-0 tomorrow night at home in Game 7, that would
just
be
come back to Game 7. It's like, wow, we just extended the series for this.
That's right. 8-0 Newmarket, the final.
Yeah.
No, for your sake, I mean, I hope they win, but I'm just telling you that the plan is at some point here, as the OSN world continues with games on Thursday, like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Good times for the Ottawa Senators, who take no time off as well. But I think there's going to be some openings on the weekend, depending on whether the guy who carries This Is Wrestling can make it.
Jeez.
He's
going to show up for his booking, brother. Can he show up for the booking?
We'll just like Jorian Donovan and Carter Yakimchuk, we'll have a car waiting for you.
Okay,
and
perfect.
we'll get you where you need to be, and
get on a flight and head on down instantly.
Anyway, we'll see if we can. Regardless, we'll be able to do it. Like, even if you're back in Belleville, we'll still be able to do it. But that's the plan, to get some more like really kind of fun content out there besides the elongated, crazy long shows that we do.
Yes.
So.
And people, I mean, I will say this: people like listening to it. It's crazy to me, but
It's crazy, but dude, the longer we go, the more I get like, oh, guys, I love the long shows. I'm like,
yeah,
you guys are out of your mind.
That's wild.
Like, it's great, but you guys are crazy. Like, in this world of you can't get people to pay attention for 4 seconds, suddenly like 2-hour episodes are the thing that needs to happen here. So
yeah, it is wild. It truly is wild.
But when you spend 23 minutes talking about what we did on the weekend before we get to wrestling, that can happen.
That's right. We talk about Russian literature at the start of the show. We're
talking about, I'm going to send you a photo maybe to put up. We're talking about champions here, talking about trivia champions. We had to go seek out the trophy, but we found it. We got the group picture with it.
Okay.
I think that we had, shirts that we had to wear. I had to give it back because apparently.
Oh, you can't keep the shirt?
I was not allowed to keep it. I know.
Trophy I get. A shirt?
It's a tight budget. No, we got shirts like within the team, but I think the team wanted to make sure that they were available for next year, or they're like we get to the parking lot and I see this, like, Angela's like, I hate to ask you, but I think I need the shirt back. Like, what do you mean?
What? I earned this. I won this.
Like, we didn't take home any prize money. We didn't win any prizes. We got a picture of the trophy that we had to seek out. What, you want me to just be on Pride here? Come on.
Wow.
But if anybody at all that would be listening or knows somebody that went to that trivia event, just know who won it. 600 people. Crazy.
Wow. The draw, Lee Versage.
I do know that the Richmond Royals junior team, who I do know the owners quite well, Sean and Augie, happened to be at the table next to us. And they're like the only people in the entire room I knew.
Wow.
And they happened to be right next to us at the back. So that's where I was getting told by some of the younger people of the group, like, you need to lock in, Lee. Like, you're chatting, you're talking too much, you're talking to them, like, lock in.
Well, you know what? I appreciate it. You told them to lock it in. And
I did.
Like, well, so you set the standard, and the kids are like, look, we have to meet the standard you set. And you did. You won.
Before the last round, we did like everyone hands in the middle.
Yeah.
And like, you come up with a cheer. Well, it was 3, 2, 1, lock in. Like that.
That's how
it was over.
When you get a message across, like you got a message across, man. Like
I got this over.
Yeah.
And it went from not finishing last to, like, even when we were 5th, there's 4 more places to go. Like, they were very satisfied with being in the top 10. And I was not having any of that.
Sounds like you need to be the new coach of the Leafs. Got a message locked in. It's like, no, this isn't good enough. Let's go.
Very satisfied with bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
And then, hey, we're in 10th place in the league. This is awesome. No, this isn't time for celebration.
No, this is time for movement. It's time to go up even more.
Sure. That's right.
Yeah.
I got them focused in the middle of it. My focus at the end,
Yeah.
A couple of drinks and 3 hours later of mostly Russian literature and science questions that I'm just like, I feel like the stupidest person in the room. Good. But I always tell people, and Zach, I'll leave people with this. And some of the people listening were there that night. We went to a Christmas trivia event, and I was with the Superfan and his lovely wife, Sam, and Le Champion, his lovely wife, Krisha. And they're very into the Christmas movies and songs, and I'm not really. Like, it's nice that they invited me. Like, it was nice to have a night out.
Mr. Bah Humbug over there.
No, it's not that. It's just like, I don't watch 16 Christmas movies every Christmas season. Like, it's just not my thing. But I was there and I was having fun, and it got to the point. There was one question, and it wasn't about a movie or a song. It was about something else, but I knew it. And when it came time for them to give the answers as we were going through, and I'm like, no, that's not right. Like, we had this and we had the full answer because I knew this one. And basically I'm just trying to stick up for, so I, raised my hand and I said, look, like, we're owed another half point. Like everyone went generic, but we gave you what you wanted. And the girl's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You can upgrade. You can get another half point. Didn't seem like a big deal at the time. I laid back, looked around. I said, I'm telling you, that half point is going to be the reason why we win this. Guess what, Zach?
It was the reason.
We won the whole event by a half point.
Oh, yes.
And we won a couple of, like a prize. At least we won something. And there was like 50 people, but we won like some ciders and some cheese and whatever. It was at Saunders Farm, which you know in Ottawa.
Of course.
And nobody remembers anything else but the fact that I earned the half point. That's what people remember about the whole night. Versage argued. He got the half point. We won by a half point. This guy's the man. We need him back. And I mean, I contributed nothing. Now this team at St. Luke's, they're like, we can't have another, like, you have to come back next year. Like, I am the glue that held this team together. Zach, my contribution was not as much. It was in the sports categories and a couple of random questions. But other than that, it was to keep them loose, keep sayings like lock in, like keep the group together. They had a music bingo thing going on, like in between the questions. They would play a song and, full card. I was all over that.
Yep.
With the people beside me who didn't know what, like, we've never heard of this song. And it was The Gambler. And I'm like,
they don't know Kenny Rogers?
No. Like, once I started singing it to them, they did, but they're like, oh, I didn't know who sings it. I've never heard the actual title of that song. And like all of these 80s, like Bust a Move, they're like, never heard of this. I'm like, oh my God.
No.
Oh my God. It's like talking to Tanner all over again. Sorry, that was a shot at Tanner, which probably didn't need to happen. But
I still can't believe the Brett Favre one. That one was
seriously,
shocking
Zach,
me.
come on.
The Brett Favre one was shocking.
We need to spend like just 10 seconds on this.
Yes.
Brett Favre?
So,
and arguing, like, how am I supposed to have heard of this guy?
He was one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
This is what I'm dealing with, though.
You didn't watch one Wrangler jeans ad and was like, oh, that's Brett Favre. Like, it's
literally one of the most famous quarterbacks. Well, no, a football guy. Like, you don't have to be a football guy to know who Tom Brady is.
Yes. Like, Brett Favre was in that realm. Like,
if Tom Brady ends up at WrestleMania, will you be happy?
If Tom Brady's there, it's like, all right. Oh, no, it's Tom Brady.
No, wrestling.
Wrestling?
There is a chance. I am telling you right now, there is a chance, and we're going to end on this because we got to go.
Okay.
There's a chance that they put those tag straps on the Vision because Tom Brady and Logan Paul are at some sort of war, and there's a chance they put those straps on them because they obviously cannot risk Logan Paul and Tom Brady going in a one-on-one on WrestleMania because Tom Brady does not have that sort of acumen in the world of professional wrestling. But there's a chance that they put somebody with Tom Brady and in a tag team title match at WrestleMania.
Well, Brady does need to swallow his pride after losing to the flag football team recently, so they can work a win for him in wrestling so that he could get his pride back. So
I'm just telling you, be prepared for it possibly to happen. And I'll leave you with this, Zach. Who retired Tom Brady?
The Dallas Cowboys.
That's right. And like embarrassing fashion.
Yes. I was saying raise the banners. Like that was the peak. Like, I don't care. Like, beat Tom Brady into retirement. That should be the banner.
Did you hear the story that there was a chance that Tom Brady was signing with the Dallas Cowboys a couple of weeks ago?
I did not see this story. No.
Yeah. Like in talks, the NFL was the one that stepped in and said, yeah, we don't think this is a great idea. But that Tom Brady was going to back up Dak Prescott.
No way.
Yeah.
I can't accept that Tom Brady would willing to be a backup if he was coming back. I just can't accept that.
Well, he probably would do something to Dak Prescott's ankle or something to
yes. Maybe learn from Logan Paul
but it's a very because he's a partial owner of another team. The NFL was like, no, but there was some seriousness that Tom Brady was doing that, and that Jerry Jones would love the opportunity to say that Tom Brady was his backup quarterback. Man. And the prestige and the media that would come with that.
Oh, well, we know Jerry loves his media, so
yeah, exactly. All right, we got to go, but we have some big stuff, maybe even some stuff over the Easter weekend to prepare for you for the next couple of weeks. But enjoy your long weekend, Zach. I hope Newmarket wins soon so that you get more time, because I'm just thinking of you. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. And we hope everybody has a great week. As always, you can get a hold of us on the socials, versagelee@gmail.com. And this has been a fun one, Zach.
It certainly has. A lot discussed, and looking forward to it. We'll keep in touch in terms of the random randomizers, whether I'll be there in person or have to come through a computer screen again. But hopefully we'll see over the next couple of days. Today and tomorrow is going to really make up what's going to happen for the rest of the week. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I just don't want any conspiracy victims over the computer. So we're trying to make sure that happens in person.
Correct. Conspiracy victim, even though I won, but I am still a conspiracy victim.
I don't understand how both of those can be true. You won, yet still are the victim. Okay.
Yes, I was still a victim. It should have been an easy win earlier, but no. God. Yeah. It was clearly a work to try and make it more interesting, and then
it was not.
So I've got my side conspiracy victim. When I come down to Ottawa, I will be outside Parliament Hill, just like Jericho, and I will just point it up, and I'll be right there, like conspiracy victim. People will come by and be like, Zach, why are you a conspiracy victim? It's like, well, I won the game, but I also in a way lost the game too.
I won, but that'll just be your yeah.
And then I'll take it to Parliament. I'll go right to Prime Minister Mark Carney and say, look, you have to get this fix and try and find some sort of resolution here.
Well, did see the video of Doug Ford and him almost sharing a glass of water. And
yes, that was
prime WWE stuff.
Yes.
Like, it's not going to turn me into a liberal. I know. Isn't that funny? Oh,
wacky politics. Wacky politics.
That clip will go viral.
I follow this stuff every day.
Oh my God, Zach. I know. Okay, we'll let you get off to your other responsibilities, and lots going on in OSM this week as well. The Senators now playing 4 times in 6 days starting today as well. So lots going on there. Thank you for your time. We hope everybody's enjoyed this extended edition of This Is Wrestling.